So, Paul, thank you so much for coming onto the Crypto Princess channel. It's good to have you. How are you today?
Doing great, doing great. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate you.
So, Paul, I know you and many of the viewers would know you, but for the newcomers, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where we can find you?
Sure, you can find me on YouTube at The Crypto Factor. About myself, wow, been in crypto since 2017, not just as a trader or investor, but also as C-suite executive. I've written multiple books, half of them are in crypto, mostly around the marketing side of things for companies which I was working for. And yeah, recently I decided to go full-time YouTube. I only do YouTube now when it comes to crypto, and that's about it.
Awesome, brilliant. So, Paul, before we get started, can you tell me if I was to meet you in high school, what kind of person were you?
Ah, man, great question, and it's funny because I used to ask this a lot, and I never. And it's a curveball coming to me, right? So now, so it's a
I
good
know
question.
because
I love it.
I watched all of your videos and it was like your resident question, so I have to ask it.
Right. So it depends on when you met me in high school. I'd be the funny guy trying to make jokes all the time. I'd be the one that would have fun with everybody, teachers and kids. I was also the guy that people didn't like that much. Got bullied when I was earlier years. Then became a bouncer when I was 17 in a nightclub. um, but yeah, so they called me after a while, after going to different schools because I was kicked out of one of them. I was called the tourist. And the reason I was called the tourist is A, I wasn't from Greece. I was from outside Greece. I came to Greece. But B, I would never carry books with me or anything like that. I couldn't be bothered. I used to have 2 sets of books, and I used to leave most of them at school and then have the rest at home so I can study. But it ended up becoming like I never used to study. So they called me the tourist. I used to always miss school. I never finished high school. And yeah, that's pretty much how you would know me in high school. But at age of 17 onwards, I'd be a bouncer at clubs. I'd be doing different things. Also working in sales, by the way. So I had a nightlife and a day life. So it was kind of a mixed thing.
Oh my God, Paul, I never finished high school either.
Oh,
We've got
wow.
that in
Okay, cool.
common. Yeah, I
Yeah,
never
there you
finished.
go.
I wasn't. I was very different when I was younger, so I never finished high school either. So Paul, I know quite a lot about your journey, your personal life and your professional life. So
Mhm.
I understand you started crypto in 2017, but that's a massive gap. You've done an awful lot of things. And I know a lot of the things will overlap because I know your health conditions, etc., will
Right.
overlap your crypto journey as we get into that. But for now, can you give us a brief summary of what you did after school up until 2017?
So other being a bouncer and a couple of things I can't really mention on video that I was doing at night. No, nothing like OnlyFans. Back then they didn't even have OnlyFans or front OnlyFans or anything like that. But just generally things that I don't want to mention on camera right now. Uh, basically, I was working in sales. I was working in sales all my life. I was working in sales before I even got. You have to understand the first job I had, other than going to the golf court and picking up golf balls, I used to have magazines from, those Beanos and Dandies. I can't even remember which ones, and Whiz and all those. I used to go door to door and sell magazines. And I remember I used to pitch them. I was 13 years old when I did this, 12, 13 years old. I used to pitch them so they can learn English. And they used to say, but we send them to private school. We send them to after school. In Greece, it's called frodisterio. I'm like, yeah, but they can have fun by reading this stuff and also learn English. So sales was always in me. My dad was in sales. He was a sales and marketing director of the Intercontinental when we came to Greece. Before that, he was the general director of Global. So it's always run in our family. Uh, then I had that double life we were talking about, being a bouncer at night and a salesperson in the daytime. I also got into timeshare as an OPC, got into telemarketing, got into sales when I was just 16 years old, on deck in timeshare industry. That's where I got very known in, by the way. And yeah, I did a lot of things from sales, marketing, all the way to being a bouncer, and then also working in in the music industry. I was an artist. I was a video director and producer. You can check it out on IMBD. I was an MC for many years. I had my own nightclub, but just a lot of stuff. Did events, just one thing after the other. I would make a lot of money, get completely wrecked, and do it over and over again, rinse and repeat. Because I guess I was good at making money. I wasn't good at keeping money, and I didn't have the responsibility. I mean, you get a lot of these rags to riches stories where, oh, I hustled the streets and I made it from nothing. No, I was pretty well off, so I didn't have that problem. We weren't multimillionaires or anything like that, but I had my family taking care of me so I could do stupid shit. But although they took care of me and I had whatever I wanted, I couldn't really do whatever I wanted, so it didn't spoil me in that sense. And I guess that's where the entrepreneurial mindset came out. I wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to do better than my dad. Yeah, of course, he speaks 7 languages and finished a couple of schools. But anyway, regardless, that's my life story in a nutshell.
So from my understanding, Paul, you entered into crypto in 2017. Now, for those who are not aware, 2017 was very, very early in crypto. It was Bitcoin's second bull run. Bitcoin was only 8 years old. Ethereum was only 2 years old. And the Bitcoin price in 2017 started off at $1,000 US in January, and
Right.
it ended with a $19,000 in December. And I absolutely love the 2017 bull run. I love the chart. The chart literally goes like this. It
Yeah.
is literally my favorite bull run. The hype of the 2017 bull run was ICOs. Now, ICOs were brilliant. A lot of people made a lot of money on ICOs. They were really, really good.
We raised 11 million at Experty on an ICO.
Oh my gosh, that's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
But saying that, a lot of people did get wrecked on ICOs because some ICOs were scams and some of them were very poor projects. And it was when the SEC came into crypto to shut down the ICOs and to investigate the ICOs that brought the 2017 bull run to an end. Epic bull run, absolutely love it. I love the chart, and I do recommend everybody to go back and have a look at the chart and study the 2017 bull run. That was your first experience of crypto. Can you tell me about that?
So I started in 2017. I can't remember the exact month. I think it was before summertime. Bitcoin was around $2,000. That's when I got in. I was coaching a telecommunication company, a call center for a telecommunication company, to be more precise. I was their mentor. And the owners, I keep on forgetting what it's called, the owner's best man, he was into crypto. Now, I knew about crypto. I wanted to buy crypto, but I never knew how. So he showed me how to buy my first Bitcoin on the Ethereum and stuff on Bittrex. As a matter of fact, he bought it from his account and sent it to me. So I had my own wallet from the get-go. But generally speaking, that's how I got in, fell in love with it, got infatuated. And when my contract finished at that company, I decided to enter crypto because my mentor and my past experiences showed me that I have to ride on trends. And I'm not just talking about investing, I'm talking about business. So as soon as I saw this crypto thing go up, I noticed something very key. I noticed that crypto was going up. There was a lot going on, but their marketing and sales completely sucked. Their sales copy was shit. Now, that was something I was thriving in. That was my thing. I wrote books on that. That's what I used to train this company and mentor them on. So what I did, I decided to enter the field. And what I did, I called my way into becoming CMO of Experty. I think it was the second or third company I called. And that was it. I was supposed to become an advisor because back then advisors was all the rage. But then I upsold myself, if you will, to CMO. And we actually moved to Poland against my doctor's orders. We actually moved to Poland. We'll talk about why it was against his orders or his recommendation after. And that's how I got into crypto. I started working as a CMO. I started doing more things. That's when I started writing more books in order to establish myself as an authority in the field. I interviewed a lot of prominent people, just like you are doing right now. I interviewed Andreas Antonopoulos, John McAfee, Roger Ver, Scott Stornetta, the grandfather of blockchain, and so on. Back then, it was almost impossible to do this. I was cold calling my way through. No one had really done that before. I was 200 subscriber channel. I did, no, maybe 4,000 subscriber channel, because it was my other channel. And then I just went through it and put all the interviews I did on YouTube into a book, called it The Crypto Factor. And later I started the other channel and moved those interviews over there. But yeah, that's how I got into crypto. Now, a lot of you mentioned that the top of the markets was with ICOs, but it wasn't. It was the 4-year cycle. It's just that every time we have a top in the market, we try to justify why it was the top or why it was the bottom or whatever. And the truth is, I'll tell you something right now. I'm more of a technical analyst. And I actually taught TA before I got into crypto in the Forex industry, because I was a sales manager in the Forex industry for teletrade. So I had to learn technical analysis and everything so I can sell, because that's how we sold, and that's how I trained my salespeople. So I was also investing in stocks. So technical analysis wise, if you look at, there's a saying that you should go by, that I go by: show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. Because always the charts show something, then the news comes out to justify this while everyone's looking for the news to do this. And this becomes a trap, and then people keep on looking at the news. They become news driven, and that affects their technical analysis, if they do technical analysis. And that's how they miss tops and bottoms. That's how they don't get them, because they get driven by news and emotions. Because they it's just, even if you don't look at the news, if over and over you keep on seeing news and then you see the price do something, it becomes embedded that it's news driven, but it's not. See, there's news for the masses and there's news for the classes. You will never get the news for the classes. You and me will always have the news for the masses. So the only opportunity we have, the only advantage we have, is to see this news before it happens, even if we don't know what that news is. And that you can do through technical analysis. Sure, you don't always get it all the time, but this is your only chance. So my advice for everybody in crypto, whether you're an investor, a trader, swing trader, day trader, whatever, just wanting to know crypto, whether you're not in crypto, you want to get into anything else, learn technical analysis. It will change your life. It's like looking at music. It's like a language. When you first look at music notes, it's complete like, oh, what the hell is this? You don't understand anything. But once you start learning to read music, those charts, for lack of a better term, it starts to speak to you. It's like a language, and you learn this language, and then you see things, you see patterns, you see so much. It's a beautiful thing. You should, something like Trump. It's a beautiful thing. You should all learn technical analysis.
No, I love technical analysis. It's really, really good. So you mentioned your friend, or the person that you met at this wedding. What support and help did you get when you first entered into crypto?
So not wedding. He was the best man of the owners of the or the CEO or the owner, whatever you want to call him, because it was a small company, just working with big clients, that I was training, I was mentoring. He just showed me Bittrex. He showed me how to. He sent me my first tokens. He told me, or showed me, Sia coin and to start mining. I didn't see the value, and I just went Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin. I can't remember which order I bought. I think Ethereum may have been the first one.
Apart from him, did you get any other help?
No, I was self-taught everything.
Oh, wow.
I had nobody. I had no friends, no one I can talk to. Even the person that helped me buy, he wasn't all that advanced. I had to learn everything on my own. And that's what I did. And that's the difficulties I had with the first company I went to. I didn't know much about crypto. I knew marketing and sales. Now, they didn't know marketing and sales, but they were developers. So there was kind of a little bit of a distance between me and the personnel and the people there, because I wasn't really in the culture yet. I didn't understand it yet, not that much. Other than Andreas Antonopoulos learning about Bitcoin, I didn't know much. Even though I did my work, we did great things, there was a distance, there was a border, if you will. So I had to learn, and I did learn over time. But it was difficult. Like everything you do is difficult in the beginning. You just have to apply yourself, read books. And the best way to learn is to talk about it. Learn something, then talk about it. Kind of like YouTube. You could learn something, talk about it, and then you learn it. And then write books on it, and then you learn that. And that's basically how you can amplify yourself and learn faster.
It's like me, I didn't have any help either. Gosh.
You're
Okay,
doing
so
very good. I mean, I watch your channel. You're doing extremely well, by the way. I think you're going to be big one day.
Thank you. So after the 2017 bull run, we did slide into a bear market. We had downwards action. We had a lot of sideways action. But in particular, I want to talk about 2020, especially March 2020. We went from 9,002 or 300 down to 3,800, literally in just a couple of weeks,
I remember
because
that.
COVID hit. COVID hit, a once in a lifetime pandemic, and it really did affect crypto. Bitcoin obviously went down. Altcoins were almost wiped out. What was your experience
I
of
was
the
buying.
COVID dump?
I was buying like crazy. And I had the money to buy as well. So I was lucky to have saved money and sold on the way down from the top of the bull market. I didn't sell the exact top, the previous bull market in 2017. But once it was starting to come down, I think 15K, I started taking profits all the way to 10. Then it went under 10. And as soon as I saw it became resistance and went to 6, around 6,000, I was taking profits. I was making videos back then to take profits as well. So I didn't get out of the top, but on the way down. So I had powder to buy, and I bought. I just bought, and the lockdowns and everything, everybody was scared that everything's going to change. We're going to be inside forever. It only made sense that internet money would take off, in my opinion. And also, it was a reaction to what was going on. I knew that this was going to end. I knew that this was it was going to reverse. It just made sense. Otherwise, everything would go to shit. If the stock markets don't go up, and everything would go to shit anyway. Might as well, buy and, take advantage. And if you're wrong, everything's going crap anyway. A lot of people get scared, and when things and pandemics or crisis or whatever hits, everybody thinks they have to buy food, buy this and buy that, and yeah, that might be a part of it. Extreme cases, let's get gold and all this and stuff like that. And the truth is, it's further away from the truth. First of all, if shit goes that bad, you don't want to be buying anything like that. You want to be buying pharmaceuticals. You want to be buying painkillers and antibiotics. Because think about it, that's going to be your currency. Because maybe no one cares about gold, but everyone's going to care if their kid's dying with a fever, right? And plus, you protect yourself. So so everyone's like, oh, gold, silver. No, pharmaceuticals first, right? Believe me, you can get food with those. But other than that, yes, there's a place for gold, but internet money, how are you gonna, if you're working in the house, how are you gonna be sending like money over to people? How are you gonna be buying stuff if it's not crypto? So that kind of all, of course, I could elaborate, but that kind of all went through my head. Saw the charts. I think as soon as we bounced, I saw the bounce. It was a bit aggressive, like boom, I'm buying, and I was just buying on the way up.
Awesome. That's brilliant. Okay, so let's talk about the 2021 bull run. So we had the COVID correction in 2020. Since then, we went up. And then we went into April 2021. Right. That was the peak that was the first peak. We went from 3,800 all the way up just over a year to over 60,000 US dollars.
Which Richard Hart called perfectly on the day.
I know.
I gotta give him that. Now, that said, around that time when he called it, I started watching the charts and like, Now, I didn't think it was the end of the bull market yet. So when I saw that, I think I started selling as soon as we fell under 60K, psychological 60. That's when I started making videos, take profits. I was begging people to take profits. That's when I think I made a short that went 350,000 views, telling people to take profits. And as we were going down, I called 30K bottom. I'm like, you know what? We're going to bounce off 30K. And I actually said, we're either going to bounce off 30K, go up a little bit, and keep on going down in a dead cat bounce, or we're going to retest all-time highs, then come back down. And if we break all-time highs, great. You would have bought the dip, buy, and if we keep on going up higher, then you can always buy lagging plays. So I had all this strategy. So a lot of people think, because I called the double top, and I did, but if I want to be completely honest, it was part of three scenarios. It was part of three scenarios. First of all, we did hit 30K. We went to 29, but went up fast. So I didn't get it completely exact. I just say I got it exactly, but it wasn't. It was it was 30K. It was good enough, but we went up fast. As soon as that became support, I'm like, okay, that's the bottom. I called it again. In hindsight, I'm like, yeah, that's the bottom. 30K is the bottom from now, even though I called it before and after, in other words. This is how I made my videos. That's why my shorts took off. And then I said, we're either going to meet all-time highs and it's going to go back down. And then depending on how much we're going to go down, it will either form a cup and handle pattern, or we'll keep on going down. Anyway, long story short, that's how I called the double top. That's what happened. And then after that, as we were going down, we got out again, anticipation. So if it finds support again, but then it broke support, I'm like, don't get back in. So it was, I did call it, but understand it was part of scenarios, and that's how you're supposed to do it. You have to take scenarios and probabilities and strategize around all scenarios and probabilities. That way you don't get wrecked. B, you know what you're going to do, you know what you're looking at. C, when the time comes, if you don't have this written down or your strategy written down, you can get confused, get emotional, and completely get wrecked, or forget even. It happens, believe me. And because there's a lot of noise going on around there in either direction. So yeah, you have to strategize around probabilities, and that's how I've been so effective at calling tops and bottoms as well. I look at possibilities, and I also look for the sweet spot where everybody gets wrecked. So when I called the bottom at 15.6K before we got there, and won the bet with Gareth Soloway months before we got there, which helped my channel take off as well, that was because I did the TA, and I figured 20K was too easy. That's what all the noobs would do. But then everybody else was calling 12 and 8K, including Richard Hart. So what was the sweet spot that everybody gets wrecked? Because the markets, they get most people wrecked in general. So that, along with different other things I was looking at, I called the range from $15,000 to $17,000. And then the video where I say, I bet you $15,000 to $17,000, that was the bet. That was the range bet with Gareth Soloway. He was going lower. And then right there I said, and if we break 17K, I'm looking at 15.6K. Now 15.6K was complete luck because it was in that range, and I just felt it, and I just looked at a few things. I'm like, okay, maybe that's it. But we got the range, and that's how I called the bottom.
Gareth Soloway. You know,
I should interview him.
I should do.
And ask him about our bet. I'll give you his contact.
Thank you. I was literally going to say, he's the reason why I didn't buy the bottom.
Oh, you could have been watching my channel back then.
I should have done. And I want to know, how did people take that? Did you get a lot of slack, or were people listening to you?
I got a lot of hate. I got attacked like crazy in the comment. And who do you think you are? And Gareth is this and Gareth is that. And I tried to explain that just because we made a bet doesn't mean that he's wrong, because he does his own technical analysis. He was just more into conventional TradFi and stocks. Even if I was wrong, it doesn't mean he lost money, because they use stop losses. Here's where everybody gets wrecked in crypto. Okay, let me explain what's going on exactly. When you watch technical analysis on YouTube channels want views. I want views. I have a YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel. We all want views. So if I'm a channel that does technical analysis, I'm doing day trading videos. I'm doing day trading videos so I can take out videos and put out videos all the time so I can get those views and grow my channel. The problem is most people are not day traders, and they don't understand the stop losses and everything. And if you are a day trader, you don't have time to watch these videos and learn. You have to day trade. That's why people like Tone Vase don't trade and do videos simultaneously. It's almost impossible. Different mindset, different situation. So channels are doing day trading videos, and you're seeing all these, oh, if we break this golden cross, it's going to go down, and the YouTuber face, and you're hearing like people like Crypto is like, oh my God, you have to see this. This is a golden cross right here, and stuff like this, and it's driving crazy. You're selling one day, you're buying the other day, but it's correct in day trading, but it's wrong for you. You want to be a swing trader or investor. So you take much less trades over time, and that's how you're supposed to work it. But if these YouTubers did this, even if they know perfect technical analysis, if they did technical analysis videos for swing trading, they'd be doing one a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, which I do on my channel. So it's not good to grow your channel. So therefore, they're not doing it because they want the views. So it's not wrong, even though most people don't know what the hell they're talking about. But the ones that do know what they're talking about, they're not wrong. It's just a different type or for a different audience, not for you. So that's why most people get completely wrecked when it comes to cryptocurrency or taking YouTube advice on when to buy, when to sell. You have to zoom out and look at it as a swing trader. The most successful traders in the world in any market only typically take 2-3 trades a year.
You know what? That is so true, because I've just read a book. It's called Unknown Market Unknown Market Wizards. I'm not sure if you've read it.
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Yeah, and one of the I've literally just finished a chapter of a person who he manages millions of pounds, and he said that he made most of his money in a 2-week period and one day. So yeah. So let's just go back a little bit. So after obviously the November 2021 top, we slid into the bear market. We had Celsius, we had Voyager, we had 3 Hours Capital, we had Luna, we had all of these black swan events. How did you change your strategy, and how did you protect your profits in the bear market?
Well, first of all, I was suggesting for everybody not to put money in FTX, not to put money in all these staking. I was so against it. And again, people were calling me an idiot, by the way. But I was so against that. Cryptocurrency, I was always an advocate of keeping them on your own wallet, right? But I did make a mistake around that time. I saw Radium, and I was in Radium, and I tried using it, and there was different problems with it. So I said, and I saw the community managers and everything. They didn't seem to know what they were talking about. So I told everyone to get out of Radium, and it was a good call because Radium went to shit. They didn't really do much after that, even though now it's doing well, and people are commenting on my old videos from years ago, saying, "Oh, you're an idiot." Look at right, okay. People don't know how to read dates, but in hindsight, I did make a mistake in the sense that I put that Radium into Luna. Now, I did 20x on that Luna, but obviously the shit went down with Luna, and I didn't manage to take profits, so I lost it. It wasn't a significant, it was like maybe 1% of my crypto portfolio. It wasn't even anything to cry over. If anything, I was laughing. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to buy this dip, and I lost a little bit more. I'm like, fuck, what am I doing? So that was in hindsight a mistake, but that was the degen in me. But I didn't recommend anybody to buy the dip on Luna. I actually recommended them not to buy the dip on Luna. I just tried to be a smartass, and then revenge traded, and that's how I lost. But I was buying. Again, it was like, okay, this is a black swan. It's going to go down. Great. And then when the bank started closing soon after, I can't remember the exact dates, I was telling everybody to buy Bitcoin, and the price actually went up when everybody thought it was going to go down. Now, you have to forgive me because a lot of things I don't remember on exact dates. So when and the reason is I went through cancer 3 times since 2017. So in between all this stuff that was going on, I was fighting cancer. I was getting bone marrow transplant. I went through a lot of shit. I lost my parents. I lost my sister, and it was everything I remember. I remember in increments. Sometimes I have to watch my own videos to remember what happened. Especially after the last time I got therapy, CAR T therapy, I even lost my memory in hospital, and it slowly started coming back over time. So it was it's kind of hard for me to remember all these events you're talking about exactly and what I did, But as we talk, I'm sure it will come to me.
So this year, we've actually received a lot of bullish news. We've had the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs approved. How do you think that's going to impact crypto going forward? And do you actually think it's a good idea? Do you like the ETFs?
Funny you ask. Well, when the ETF news, first of all, we were talking about the ETFs before they even got approved, and we were anticipating them. And I said we're going to get a much faster top, and Bitcoin will probably reach all-time highs sooner than what it usually does, which I was correct about. Then I called for a potential shorter bull market, which I was leaning towards end of 2024, beginning 2025. Now, we don't know if this is going to happen yet. But I said the top of Bitcoin will come in end of 2024, beginning 2025. That does not mean all cryptocurrency will. Cryptocurrency might go up a little bit more as Bitcoin goes down, follow down, and it will probably end it within 2025, the whole bull market. But there's still profits to be made. And when I say beginning 2025, I mean the first 3 months, 4 months of 2025. Bitcoin top, maybe we'll get another double top, something like this. Now, once we got the all-time high sooner, we consolidated for a very long time. And this actually kind of makes this scenario less likely. So we might have a normal bull market after all because of the consolidation. It kind of it corrected. That's what corrections are. They correct. And fortunately, we corrected. And I say fortunately, and I mean it. So that was so now we're looking at this bull market, and since we're talking, and let's try and see what's going to happen in the future here. Either this is good, a lot's going to depend on what happens in the States with the elections. Now, understand, I'm not going to talk about if this is going to be a shorter bull market or the same length bull market, but I am going to talk about volatility. See, if the elections is going to short-term volatile crypto. So if, let's say, the right wins, let's say Trump wins, I do think whether we go down or up, it's going to be more aggressive. So get ready to take profits as we come back down, correct, and then we'll continue the bull market and see what happens. If Kamala wins, maybe it's going to be a little bit of a softer shift. The issue is that the economy in the States is completely wrecked. So the next bull market, in my opinion, is going to be more of a crisis. Next bear market will be accompanied by a crisis. So expect a more aggressive bear market, in my opinion. And Bitcoin aside, because we don't know if it becomes a hedge towards this or not, or if it acts like gold at some point, which it did at some point for a very short period of time. We have to be ready to be able to take advantage of the swings. And this is what a swing trader does. So if you haven't ever traded and you're just an investor, a swing trader would take advantage of this swing, so to speak. So that's what I'm looking at now. Now, I can't give you an exact estimate of what's going to happen exactly, how it's going to happen, because obviously I'm not a prophet. I have a bald head. It looks like a crystal ball, but I'm not a prophet. It doesn't work always. It's shiny, but you get the drill. But if this is a shorter bear market, expect it to be because of a crisis, because of the economy, and expect it to be much deeper and worse overall, not just in crypto.
You know what? I actually agree with you, and I'm thinking the exact same thing with 2026. Yeah, it's going to be a very difficult bear market. This bear market is going to be very, very difficult.
Trump might be able to postpone it, and God willing, flip it. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. You've called a lot of tops, a lot of bottoms. You've also called some crises as well. Just going back, I do think I remember you once saying on one of your videos that you actually got into Doge before Elon Musk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What was that about?
Easy.
That's amazing.
So I saw the potential even through the last bull market. I bought Doge, sold it, of course, once we got out, but then bought it again. And it's funny because not only did I get into Doge, it's documented because in my earlier videos on the Crypto Factor, you can literally see me saying, donate Doge for my dog. And I used to buy treats for my dog, and I made it like a little game. And I was accumulating Doge by people sending Doge to me as well. And I was telling people, listen, you want to buy Doge. First of all, because it's great, it's going to go up. Second of all, so you can send to me and feed my. So it was kind of like a little game I was playing. I thought it was funny because I used to have my dog. I just bought my puppy, and I had a series called Straight from the Doge Park. So I had a series of live videos, live streams of me taking my dog to the doggy park, but also streaming and talking about crypto. And I was selling. It was in everyone's face. Doge, just get Doge, and of course Doge did what it did. Then Elon Musk thing happened, and of course it was good for everyone that listened.
Okay, so well, we know you're a very successful YouTuber, but recently you've started your own VIP group. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So the VIP group it's not your typical group or calls or anything like that. It's basically a group of people that want to talk to me, want to ask me questions around the clock. Doesn't matter what time it is. Sometimes I'm awake at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That I can give alpha, what I'm seeing in the charts, and they basically ask questions. So it's questions coming from the community that I answer, and that's how we get the calls as well. Because a lot of times I'm not going to sit around, looking at everything and what's going and giving you the calls, and you're just going to copy them. But if someone's asking me, hey, Paul, what's about this? Should I do this? Should I do that? That's how these calls come to play. So the VIP group, you get to speak to me. We do a monthly live stream and a monthly Zoom call where everybody just joins in and we talk and they ask questions, and I do it live. And also there's portfolio updates, different things like that. It's actually, it's fun. It's a community, if you will. It runs at $49 a month. And this started, I think, this started last time I was fighting cancer. It was end of 2022 when I got out. It was months after that I started my coaching and then the group. And I did it because before that, I wasn't selling anything other than my group, my books now and then. I wasn't selling anything on YouTube because I was working with companies. But because of my cancer, losing my work in crypto back then, because I was working with companies, consulting companies, I was a C-level. It kind of like, after this all happened, I couldn't go back to emceeing on music videos. I couldn't do crypto go travel and work with companies or anything like that. I couldn't work high stress environments, and that's how I made the coaching available for everyone and the VIP group, so I can make money because I just got out of hospital. I was in a very bad shape. Even though I made a lot of money, I lost a lot of money. My dad died, my mother died before that, my sister died before that. But when my dad died, all these expenses came on me, and I was in hospital 45 days getting 42 days, 43 days getting bone marrow transplant, CAR T therapy. That's when I lost my memory. My girlfriend couldn't work because she couldn't get sick, because I'd get sick and die. So I had to support my girlfriend, support her mom, support her because she needed help as well. She was going through tough times. Support my dog. All the bills coming to me. My house went on auction. My apartment went on auction. Thank God I got some good lawyers and we got it out. I remember I was even borrowing money because I think I was down to like $25,000 in crypto, and that's all I had. And I had no cash. So I started borrowing money before that, before April, before the VIP and everything. I mean, when I was in hospital, right? I was borrowing money before I did the bone marrow transplant. Because I knew if I sold this crypto, I was done. I wouldn't be able to trade my way up. At least when I got out of hospital, I could use this crypto to trade my way up. But I couldn't think then to do it. That was impossible. So, and this is where I actually asked for help, and it was kind of embarrassing. But I asked for help, and a lot of people helped me from the crypto community. Now, I didn't do like a GoFundMe or anything like that. It was more of a private thing. I was embarrassed. But my former employer, he helped me out a lot. I'm not going to dox him because I never wanted to be doxed. But he gave me about $8,000, and he's like, just keep it, just take it. Then BitBoy Crypto sent me $1,500. I remember that, and that's why that really helped out a lot, because it was some bills, right? That I didn't have no money. I wasn't making anything, right? I think we were in the bear market as well. Things were shit. So, and then a couple of more people, my friends, sent me some money as well. So I think they sent me about $10,000, $15,000. That's how I paid the bills and everything. and took care of things while I was in hospital. Then when I got out, I started trading. But again, I wasn't 100%, but then I started making videos. But I was also making videos in hospital. If you look at my earlier video, you'll see me in hospital getting chemotherapy, full of shit in my neck, trying to tell you to buy the dip. and you have to get in, and it was a 16,700. This was after the Gareth Soloway dip. I'm like, buy 16,000, just buy. And if we break up, that's it. That's the bottom. If we go down, doesn't matter. Buy some more because we're good. And all that. Those videos are online. So yeah, it was crazy times. But that's why I appreciated Ben. That's why I appreciated. But I didn't even know him that well. We just did a couple of interviews. That's it. And he told me to keep it. I didn't even ask for it back ever. So a lot of people talk shit about BitBoy, but he helped me out. No one else did from that team at the time. Not that they had to or anything, but he did.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a heart for that. He didn't have to.
So there's always been a huge overlap between your personal life, your health, and crypto as well.
Yeah.
When you first started, can I just quickly go back and say, when you first started in crypto, were you a trader and then you turned into an investor, or how did that work?
I was investing in stocks, but I knew how to trade. But then I started as an investor in crypto.
So, Paul, with all the experience that you have, if somebody's coming into crypto, they're very new into crypto, what advice would you give them?
Okay. First of all, I would say the problem with common advice is that it's common. Most common people get wrecked. You have to look at things a little bit deeper, just like the example I just gave you about buying as you're coming out of a bear market. The second thing you need to do, be an investor, learn how to trade, but be an investor first. So it takes about 2-3 years to learn technical analysis, like driving a car. I could teach you and tell you how to drive a car right now. If you go out and you try and drive it, you'll crash. If I tell you how to counter steer, you're not going to know what I'm talking about if you're not driving. So it takes time to learn and practice technical analysis, but you can be an investor as you're learning technical analysis. And in most part, you're probably more of an investor anyway, rather than a trader. Third of all, take profits. Learn how to take profits. Even if you've never taken profits, try taking some profits, right? Because it's very hard to buy crypto, to get into crypto. It's very hard to buy your first crypto. It's even harder to take profits because you fall in love. There's FOMO kicks in. It's the hardest thing, right? When you listen to YouTubers, it's fine. But understand that they may be wrong. And most of them are shilling. In other words, they're getting paid by the companies or they're holding bags of these coins. Understand that. Very few YouTubers, if any, disclose when their videos are sponsored. I disclose all sponsored videos, and I call the red flags. I call scams. A company would pay me a sponsorship, and I would call it a scam in the video, right? Because I get paid for honest reviews. So if they don't understand, that's not my fault. But try to get above all the noise. Zoom out. Don't try and be a day trader. Like, zoom out. Look at the charts zoomed out. Look at the monthly chart, the weekly chart. It's a lot easier. And generally speaking, you want to balance your portfolio. You want to buy a few coins, whether it's 5, whether it's 10, doesn't matter. Always have Bitcoin. At least half of your portfolio. I'll explain why in a second, because everyone tells you to do it. No one explains why or knows why, to be honest with you. But half of your portfolio should be Bitcoin. And then you should go buy high caps, mid caps, and low caps. But those ones preferably would be in the narrative. Right now, it's AI and gaming. Next bull market, if you're watching this video in a year, go for DPIN and RWA. We're going to have a pump in this bull market as well, but it's going to be hype-based. But blockchain is not ready to support this, and there is a chance that these two will be the trend for the next bull market, along with AI. Of course, there'll be trend stacking and so on. So the reason you want 50,000, the reason you want half your money, 50% in Bitcoin, is if you have Bitcoin over here and you have altcoins over here, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, why should I hold Bitcoin? It will only go up 2-3x. Everything else will go 10, 20. Yeah, but the power is going to go up to 3x. In other words, if you put 50% in Bitcoin, 50% in altcoins, if your altcoins go to shit, even if it just 2x's, right, you'll still make your money back. It's kind of like a guarantee. And even if you miss the bull market, chances are in the next bull market you get it back. So you're guaranteeing your money. And then over here, it might not go complete shit. It might go a little bit lower. It might even go higher. That's fine. That's great. But you have your Bitcoin. Other than its sound hard money principle, not to sound like a maxi, but there's other reasons to have Bitcoin as well. But if you're looking at it as an investor, look at it as a split to protect yourself and learn how to take profits. We'll see that as we're coming out the bull market. We'll confirm.
Okay, awesome. Oh my God, Paul, it was so amazing speaking with you today. I'm actually going to be joining your VIP. I
Awesome.
want to
Thank you so
spend
much.
more time with you. A lot of our journeys are actually quite similar. So I'll see you in the VIP. I will put all your links down below. But thank you so much for doing this interview. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. It was great. Very good questions. Had a lot of fun. Love what you're doing. Love the way you present. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you.